You have that first day of class feel. So it's just kind of the excitement of you want to have everything on your checklist done. You want to know where your classes are. But a part of that journey, too, is getting all your textbooks and materials together. And when that becomes an issue of costs and just it's an unnecessary stress in the classroom.
When students have to pay for textbooks on top of everything else, it can really be a barrier to learning accessibility.
You know, it's not hard to find stories about students who don't feel like they can continue their education as successfully as they want to because they can't get a hold of the books that they need or the homework platform that they have to use for the price that they have to pay.
For students across our system, the average is around $1,100, $1,200 a year. In order to pay for those textbooks, we know that many of our students have to take on additional jobs. They have to find ways to meet all of these costs that go above and beyond what they're paying for their tuition and perhaps for their housing, and that is going to limit the time and the effort and the energy that they have to engage in other really important aspects of their educational activity.
And so trying to save that and make higher education more affordable is something everybody can get behind, and is very prominent in NC State's mission and is very much at the center of the library's mission. The other element that is maybe not as unique but is more rare is the focus of Alt Textbook on changing pedagogical approaches, on enhancing pedagogy. Cost is an important element, but I think we've actually found that engaging in creative pedagogy and transitioning pedagogy with our faculty as partners is something that is just as valuable, and maybe we've had a broader impact with that through Alt Textbook.
Our tagline from the beginning was do something a textbook can't. We're engineers here, we're business people, we're people who like to try and do new and interesting things at NC State. And so the pitch, your expertise as a faculty member is more interesting than a generic off-the-shelf textbook. Your commitment to your students' well-being and agency is going to resonate more and be more exciting and important than the sort of one-size-fits-all teacher in a box that textbooks will often provide you with.
I am appreciative, deeply appreciative for the faculty members, both for helping our students with these use these materials, but also to be the pillars of this movement towards more open education.
The faculty who were aware of the program, who had worked with it, were really excited by it. But there were a lot of faculty who also were new to the program, who didn't know necessarily what it was about and how it might be directly relevant to them. So I began having conversations with them, inviting them along to workshops, connecting them to other faculty members on campus who could speak to the program firsthand. And that really began this kind of incremental rise in the number of applications that we were receiving.
Learning about the Alt Textbook project really motivated and inspired me to completely revise my applied ecology course and the assignments for that semester-long course that I teach every fall, to actually create assignments that students would complete, and their works, whether they were figures or collaborative writing assignments, would become content that fed into this alternate textbook.
These assignments are not throwaway. They have a life and a destiny beyond the student completion of the assignment and the earning of the grade. It's a great way for them to feel inspired by their peers, and if I can engage students in highlighting diverse ecologists who they identify with or who they want to have in their textbook. That's how I framed our featured ecologist assignment. Who do you want to have in your textbook? And that inspires and empowers students to go explore the wide world of ecology.
It does enhance the student's sense of belonging.
At first I said, I don't think that applies to us. We don't use a textbook. I think we use a lab manual, and the more we thought about it, it tied into how we taught the class, because students were creating resources that then we had the opportunity to compile and create our alt textbook.
One thing that I know for a fact is that it has really opened the playing field for students that weren't feeling very supported in the lab before. So what both our lab videos and our lab virtual reality experiences, students have to participate. It's not just we giving them content. They have to make decisions. It's a find your own adventure kind of model. So it really set the tone for a more of an exchange of information as opposed to just us giving them the information.
I think I swapped out traditional multiple choice tests for several of the courses I teach, most of them, to a project where we either work with a podcast or we create tutorial videos and a summary that's accessible to the public.
You may have been an excellent instructor for 10 years and nobody knew what you were doing. And now people can see your teaching and learning materials. They can see it in an open education format, so anybody can have access to them. Women, especially women of color, already don't get enough recognition for the stuff that they do. So imagine long-term what that would have done for my career, right? I would have kept on doing the same little teaching in my same closed environment, as opposed to now doing it in a much bigger scale.
With open pedagogy and open education, how we think about renewable, reusable, interoperable resources. That's ways of sharing knowledge and creating knowledge, not as an instructor, but as a community with students.
Pedagogy is super exciting because that is the heart of sustainability. It's about students thinking of themselves as authors, as creators of knowledge rather than consumers of it.
But you're also seeing a group of students who are having their eyes opened to a totally new way of thinking about and talking about education, of doing work that is meaningful to them, that's tailored to what's exciting and important to them in their lives, and that gives them an example to put forward when they go on the job market, when they try to enter into a new community in a different way, work that really matters to them.
I think one of the cool things about the alt textbook program is that it's not limited itself to any one thing.
So, in as much as there are so many different ways for students to engage with content, there are a lot of different ways to create engaging materials and content. It doesn't all have to be redesigning an entire course.
As many different students as there are, as many different textbooks and instructors and courses as there are that many different ways to create an alt textbook.
This is not one size fits all. Everybody walks out of here with an ebook. I know that for me, things didn't look anything like what I thought they were going to look when I started. But if I hadn't gone through the process, I wouldn't know any of those things.
They also give faculty the power to create and to build something that is exactly what they want and that can change over time as their needs change.
It will also result in a teaching and learning environment that I think is more flexible, more adaptable, or can be more flexible and adaptable and engaging for our students and also for our faculty members. So I'm really excited about where we are right now in terms of where we're poised to go with open education because of the great work that our campuses, our faculty members, our students, and our librarians have already been doing around open education. The NC State Library's alt textbook program has been a national leader in what libraries can do to support their students in the learning experience.
Infrastructure of support is really what makes it happen.
And what you'll find out is we can support a lot of different types of projects and a lot of different needs that you may not even realize. And so the alt textbook program offers a great way to have a conversation with folks who know some different things and who are able to help faculty.
But the libraries is this hub of innovation and just really putting students first. And I think that's the other core principle, that it started with students in mind and students at the table from the beginning. So we had amazing leadership buy-in, the student buy-in, and just the continued commitment to innovate and evaluate the project too, and continue to just think what new technology, what new instructional tools are around us today. How do we build this into our program and offer and incentivize these new projects and opportunities?
I think what's really exciting at the moment is it feels that we're at this like pivotal moment, really, in terms of open education and its future.
We had the incredible successes in the 2010s with open education, and we saved all this money, and we changed all these lives. And then the folks who primarily see education as a way to harvest money said, okay, we need a better business model. We need a better way to recapture those students who we seem to be losing in different ways. And so the opportunity to say, no, we have to keep students at the center of this. We have to keep equity at the center of this. This has to be, education has to be something that we do for the public good and for the good of the people involved, not just as a way to move the money around and make sure the right checks get signed. That's going to be so critical.
We've come so far, but there's still sort of so far in which in terms of where we want to go in the future. In terms of the number of projects that we've worked with are around 100 or so, and that's an awful lot. But that also means that at our university there's still an awful lot more departments, an awful lot more instructors, an awful lot more courses that we haven't worked with. So part of the reason that keeps me motivated, keeps me excited about working with the program is the fact that I've yet to meet these people. I've yet to work with them.
The alt textbook program came along right when I was looking for something where I could say, I actually want to do more than just work with one faculty at a time to improve their course. I want to find something that I can believe in, and I can say, let's try and make a larger difference. And I'm really proud of what we've done with the program.
And we need to give students the power to understand, to critically engage with that tool and make it work for them. And I think the alt textbook's job is going to be, whether it's inclusive access, whether it's AI, whether it's the next thing, to say we're going to keep students at the center, we're going to keep education as a public good at the center, and we're all going to work together to make sure that's as successful as it can be.